The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello and good evening. I'm Maricela Kelaton.
And I'm Rex Litter. Thanks for joining us for tonight's news.
In this edition, bulb onion dryer working wonders for farmer, contractors sign waste collection contracts, and Hekari through to Women's Champions League finals.
Australian High Commissioner John Fix officially opened a new community government hall in Yoro 2, Panguna District on Tuesday. The building is one of 9 community halls and 10 community government offices funded by Australia across Bougainville's 19 districts. During the ceremony, High Commissioner Fix said he hoped the hall would increase opportunities for community engagement. The 30 million Kina Community Government Infrastructure Initiative supports Australia's localization policy, which prioritizes contracting of local Bougainville-based service providers. The project has created employment and skills development and opportunities in the construction sector for over 200 people across Bougainville. The facilities are purpose-built community meeting spaces with kitchenettes and storage rooms, a disability access ramp, chairs and storage racks, including a 9,000-litre water tank. Prime Minister James Marape emphasized the significant potential for growth in Papua New Guinea's oil palm industry during a meeting today with Oil Palm Minister Francis Maneke and Oil Palm Industry Corporation General Secretary Kepsen Pupita.
The oil palm, which contributed 2.8 billion kina in export revenue in 2022, is seen as having the capacity to become as influential as the mining and oil and gas sectors in the nation's economy. In a meeting with Minister for Oil Palm Francis Galia Maneke and Oil Palm Industry Corporation General Secretary Kepsen Pupita, Prime Minister James Marape issued directives to ensure the continuous support of smallholder growers, including the ongoing supply of seedlings through nurseries, the establishment of a mill dedicated to smallholder growers, and the acquisition of more land for oil palm cultivation to bolster the economy. He further projected that expanding the current smallholder cultivation area could substantially increase the sector's revenue. He says if the current smallholder crop of 15,000 hectares brings in 300 million kina annually, PNG can make so much more if we increase the land. Prime Minister Marape's vision includes forging partnerships with provincial governments for land provisions and ensuring the availability of seedlings with the ambitious goal of establishing mills to further support the industry's growth. He expressed a particular interest in utilizing the grasslands of the Makam and Ramu valleys as well as the Sepik plains for oil palm cultivation, citing the crop's superior investment return. Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
Rabaul District has embarked on rolling out a series of cocoa block and fermentary inspections in its 4 local-level governments to improve cocoa extension services to its established farmers and promote cocoa. This program is a collaborative approach by the Rabaul District Agriculture Sector, Growers Association, NGIP AGMAC and Cocoa Board PNG. The activities include cocoa block inspections, cocoa fermentary inspections, as well as cocoa awareness and training on various cocoa modules to assist farmers. The inspection started last month for the island LLG of Watom, followed by Balana Taman LLG, and is currently being rolled out in Kombiu LLG and will conclude with Rabaul Urban LLG. Bulb onion farmer James Ambio from Nipuka village in Daulo, Eastern Highlands Province, hails Fresh Produce Development Agency and British American Tobacco for their intervention in assisting with a solar dryer for bulb onion. Ambio said since the introduction of the solar dryer, curing period of bulb onions has reduced from 6 weeks to 3 days. It has immensely helped him and his bulb onion production.
In April 2023, British American Tobacco PNG Limited and Fresh Produce Development Agency joined hands to aid rural bulb onion farmers in PNG. The partnership aims to provide financial assistance to the farmers and increase the quality and quantity of their produce. In support of this, BET PNG put in 1 million kina for the construction of 50 solar dryers for bulb onions in different parts of the country. Each dryer costs 20,000 kina. Bulb onion farmer James Ambo is one of the recipients of the solar dryer that saw the launching of his project recently in Nipuka village in Daulo district, Eastern Highlands Province.
Thank you, American British Tobacco, Anilo, FPDA, Olambo Blomista. Olkang or supporting one time na you make him na now me looking osem life lo me mbonema so lo bien lo ronan lo me ga dreaman osem in a future em by me dreaman osem this la balbane now em look nesiria em now me ga tupla me like him ba me come up na tupla kenso me by go in business way so that every month me must salim every month me must plan him lo here every month must go inside lo transplant em now by me start lo business way so every month me no can sort lo money na dreaman lo me osem in a future. At least level we must go to level now. We feel we can change one day.
During the launch, FPDA CEO Mark Vorinu urged the farmers to spend more time in their farms if they want to benefit from such projects.
So we are on the ground rolling out all programs. Mibla serious business. All stop, mibla stop. All again working work. Only something mibla partner want them all corporate clients. Mibla too like partner want them all districts. So that partner long up, partner loyana, all people blow me blow by benefit.
BET PNG Manager Corporate Affairs George Panau also assured farmers that BET PNG will continue to assist farmers in the country and work towards the government's goal in reducing the number of imports of bulb onion into the country.
But inside law agriculture, inside law nuclear technology, and inside the way impact can go direct long all papa mama lo ground now picking niblo mi all stop niblo no like implant the middleman to us middlemen sa make him na money sa come na lose you give him 100 kina and you sim to kina tamlo kind of sem niblo like 100 kina come down mas 99 or kind of sem must come up tamlos kind of sem
Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
Prime Minister and Treasurer James Marape has commended the Fly River Provincial Government on its 460 million kina budget. He said it underlines a pivotal moment for economic development within the region. The Prime Minister emphasized the strategic geographical positioning of Western Province due to its proximity to Australia and Indonesia and its vast area of over 90,000 square kilometers. He said the national government is ready to support the budget because it reflects the needs of the province. Marape underscored the commitment to advancing substantial projects for the province facilitated by the national government. He commended Governor Taboy Yawi Yoto's involvement in landowner negotiations for the Penyan LNG project, including the recent Fiscal Stability Agreement. Governor Awi Yoto outlined the budget's focus areas, including health, education, law and order, governance and public service restructure. He said the adoption of the integrated financial management system last year resulted in more than 100 million kina being rolled over into this year's budget. TV1 News continues after the break. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSP Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy paid units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SP Laga, Bunyamyumi.
The Toyota JD Hiace bus comes in 14 and 15-seater high-roof luxury model powered by 2.8 liters JD engine for optimal performance output, fuel efficiency and quietness, designed with improved safety features and easy maneuverability for tire steering angle. The Hiace lift suspension and annular frame structure is opted for smooth ride, comfort and safety. Experience the ride on the Hiace bus and experience the Hiace pride, the bus that exceeds all expectations.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo and milk taste and added nutrients, Milo and milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Fine PNG made.
Right across the nation, we eat snacks crackers. Emi trupla. All get a young planalapun, only like him snacks crackers. Only make him here, no PNG, one-time lay biscuit company. It's crunchy and tasty. It's irresistible.
We're celebrating the culture and traditions of the Motokoita people, and we honor the Hiri trade, and we crown the new Hiri Hananamo here in the capital, amazing Port Moresby.
Welcome back. BSP PNG's corporate team transformed LaSalle Technical Secondary School in NCD by refurbishing its computer lab and providing new computer sets with essential software. The outdated computer lab received a facelift with new computers and software, enhancing learning opportunities for students. BSP staff, led by Corporate General Manager Peter Biswick, dedicated 2 weekends to renovation work, culminating with the handover ceremony on March 8. Principal Brother Anthony Pancras praised BSP's initiative for its positive impact on IT students and expressed gratitude for BSP's continued support for education in Papua New Guinea. The Lekora Community in Port Moresby have come to the rescue of their people in Gulf Province who were affected by a keen tide on March 10. The members brought in relief supplies of food and water to assist villagers who lost their homes and food gardens.
A king tide hit the source of Kerema in Gulf Province on March 10, causing damages to villages residing along the coast. Lekora village fell victim and was severely affected. The shelters along the Kerema town's famous Pariva beach were also swept away, and the airstrip fence repositioned, causing much destruction to properties. At least 120 households were destroyed, leaving more than 200 people homeless. Chair Lady of the Lekora Community in Port Moresby, Mary Oaseoka Via, has acknowledged the quick response from the members of the Lekora Community living in the city with much needed food and vital supplies for the affected villagers. She explained that upon getting information on the aftermath of the King Tide, they started raising funds to assist their people back home.
You do it first and then you let the government come in later. And we are proud Lekora. We are proud Lekora people. We are proud that we have both raised Mipla Karem Tupla Piginini Man, Prince Iveta and Thomas Sopa. But Mipla go past. Mipla respect them all. They are our leaders and they are also our children of this village. And we also people who have a lot of prominent figures here. Just acknowledge Basil Bragg, famous singer. We are musicians by heart. We have made music for PNG, and that is his village too. Basil is from Lekora. So with saying that, today we will be transporting all these food items down to our village, and by tomorrow the food will be dispersed. The relief disaster committee went down and did an assessment. We have about 128 households in the village, and then we have around 200 plus people, I think not including the children also. We have a school facility there, we have a health center there, and we have 2 churches there. So all those are affected by this natural disaster. So natural disaster, it comes. But the people who live and who are from that place, you take ownership, look after your place. So we are...
Mrs. Via said the government could come in later and assist, but they took it upon themselves to raise funds first to help their people. She said after their fundraising drive and meeting the needs of the disaster victims, Gulf Governor Sir Chris Iveta and Kerema MP Thomas Opa chipped in with further assistance.
The government will come in with their assistance, and we are encouraging all of Papua New Guinea. We are all affected by the climate change, and I've seen in the news there's been problems up in the highlands with landslides. The roads have been damaged. For us, the lower lying coastal areas, we don't have the roads going in, but some of us live on islands. And to take the front initiative first before your government, take the lead and do something first.
Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
Eric Mosman-Uvovo, Chief Executive Officer of the Tourism Promotion Authority, has been appointed Deputy Chair of the Kokoda Track Special Purposes Authority Management Committee. The ceremony held at Stanley Hotel marked the swearing-in of 10 committee members, including the election of Jack Della as chairman. Distinguished guests, including the Minister for Tourism and the Governor of Central Province, graced the event, underscoring the pivotal role of tourism in both economic development and cultural conservation. Uvovo emphasized the global significance of Kokoda Track tourism and the imperative of sustainable management. His appointment symbolizes a collective commitment to advancing tourism initiatives and safeguarding the cultural and natural heritage of the Kokoda Track. The National Capital District Commission Management today signed contracts with 6 new waste collection contractors. The contractors will begin rubbish collection in the city starting April 1st, 2024.
The long waits for waste collection for Port Moresby residents in the National Capital District will now be a story of the past. The National Capital District Commission Management has taken a new approach by signing a waste collection contract today in Port Moresby. The aim of having on board new waste contractors is to have a holistic approach of collecting waste in the city, which begins effectively on April 1st, 2024. The new waste collection approach is broken into 4 sectors: domestic regional waste, medical waste, commercial waste, and school waste, where all contractors will be collecting waste based on these 4 sectors. City Manager Ravu Frank said this approach was taken in order to provide a conducive, safer and healthy environment for city residents.
Policy, our board has also approved this arrangement here as we're going to sign today. So we break up the city into the various boundaries and then we manage the collection of the waste, which will be effective and efficiently.
Frank said part of this new initiative is to ensure that waste is collected to prevent the outbreak of diseases that might cause significant health issues to the residents in Port Moresby.
We don't play the clinical function, which is Department of Health function. So we try to prevent any outbreaks, prevent people from getting sick, so that our health clinics are basically there to deal with the sick people.
He said this new approach will ensure waste collection coverage is increased to all premises, both business and private residential homes in the suburb from current 64% to 95%. The city manager challenged the contractors to collect waste according to the terms and conditions of the contract they have signed to deliver effective waste collection in the city.
I'd like to urge every contractor, do your jobs properly and professionally. As per your submissions in your tenders, and as per the conditions that have been outlined in the contract. Stick within your games, and since you will do our part, and we deliver the services.
Meanwhile, the contractors will undergo a week-long orientation next week where they will be briefed on their schedules and what to do. Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
And now the finance news. The kina closed 2 points lower at 0.2654 US dollars in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying 0.2579 US dollars, 0.3921 Australian dollars, 0.2298 euro, and 38.59 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, coffee, copra, crude oil and copper closed higher, while gold, cocoa and palm oil closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, ASX closed lower, and all ordinaries closed lower as well. You're watching TV1 News. When we return, we bring you stories making headlines overseas. Stay tuned.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Add the kakaro, get up a big smile on face. Time for Kim chicken, a great fumu too. Sip, sip, the mumu, yes, magic on you.
Magic, the taste PNG loves.
Papua New Guinea. We love a reason for a family gathering. A reason to play. A reason to ignite the flame. A reason to cook the best with the best. Flame Oil, now PNG made for PNG cooking. Flame Oil, winning taste.
Harimol kata rice lovers. Mi plaka 300,000 kina scale school money long win him. Sans belong you win him 1,000 kina. 300 per lucky line by winning inside long 4 plus fortnight. Sans belong you win a big plus thread. By 1 kg, he going up 20 kg scale or ori rice. Cut him this stamp, na put him inside long envelope and the full name, na contact details long you, na drop him inside long entry box long store. Promotion by finish long March 29, 2024. Hurry up now win big plus one scale na ori rice. Piani mi pra lo social media long save mo. Terms na conditionista.
Welcome back. In regional news, Dormant's Project or DMP and Cool Range Band have recently wrapped up their transformative West Coast tour, expressing immense gratitude to fans and collaborators for their unwavering support. Now they find themselves in the picture square paradise of Fiji, affectionately referred to as Bulaland. As they soak in the tropical vibes and warm hospitality, they're gearing up to bring their electrifying performances to audiences across the island. With their blend of soulful melodies and infectious rhythms, they aim to leave an indelible mark on the Fijian music scene, which is a captivating blend of old and new music. These talented individuals continue to promote unity and positivity through their music as they embark on this exciting new leg of their musical journey. Medical experts are warning that the Australian healthcare system is dangerously unprepared for a warming climate. In its federal budget submission, the Royal Australian College of Physicians says extreme weather events demonstrate the need for a climate-resilient health system.
Hospital over the Black Summer period, so 2019-20. And it's worth pausing and thinking there that about 12.5 million Australians were exposed to bushfire smoke through that summer period, starting in Queensland, covering large quantities or large areas of New South Wales, and then of course into eastern Victoria. And so we know and we saw the direct health impacts of the bushfire events, particularly the bushfire smoke exposure. We saw an increase in hospitalisation. We see issues for cardiac disease, heart attack and stroke and heart rhythm abnormalities are all more likely during periods of extreme heat and with exposure to bushfire smoke. We saw chest infections and respiratory presentations. And so there are good estimates from that Black Summer exposure that there were a couple of hundred of extra people died through that summer because of the extreme weather events. And we saw many thousands of extra hospitalisations through that period. In my own experience, I see the relationship between the environment and the health and well-being of my patients on a daily basis. I have the great privilege of working in parts of regional New South Wales, and for my rural communities particularly, they know that the health of the environment around them and the sort of things that are happening to the environment around them impact on their health and well-being. And I'm particularly reflecting there on the experiences that I've seen in the communities that I've been part of around drought, and so the really significant health impacts of devastating drought. But similarly devastating flood, similarly devastating fire. And I was in Bow Desert in southern Queensland just recently, where they were reflecting on the devastation of tornado. So there are all of these extreme weather events where the climate science tells us that there will be an increase in frequency, an increase in severity, an increase in intensity, and that we know all of these events will have a direct health impact at the time for physical health and for mental health, and then resonate through communities for quite some time afterwards, for months to years afterward. Climate change is shaping the health of Australians today, and it will continue to shape the health of Australians into the future.
So what needs to change to make the health system climate resilient, and how easy is it to make those changes?
Look, at its core, let's recognise that the environment and that the health of our environment and the health of the people are connected. They're deeply connected. And as we pay attention to climate change, let's pay attention to the health and well-being of the country and see that there's synergies in both of those things. There are practical things in terms of mitigation. That means thinking about the carbon footprint of the healthcare sector, and there's some great work around the country beginning to really look at the impact of the healthcare sector in terms of our carbon emissions and how we can address that. Things like using renewable energy, thinking about the role of transportation, the introduction of telehealth, and things like using our medicines wisely, reducing the low-value, no-value care that is in part of our healthcare system. That's on the mitigation side. On adaptation, adaptation is a health issue. When we think about climate change adaptation, we're thinking a lot about how communities respond to the sorts of climate variability that we've lived through in the last 5 years, and that we will continue to see unfold with increasing severity in the decades ahead. A health lens in that is extraordinary. So thinking about how we can care for each other, making sure that there's good access to medicines, making sure that the vulnerable people in our community who need additional assistance are cared for during extreme weather events, and that our health system is prepared. So recognising that there can be an increase in need for health services around the time of the extreme events, be it at the actual time or in the months or years afterward. And making sure that there is that dynamic relationship between health service delivery and what's happening to people in places. Things like floods, like fire, like bushfires, like smoke exposure and tornadoes.
A woman living in Rafah in the south of Gaza said the situation is catastrophic as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu remains determined to carry out a ground operation. Gaza al-Qud has been displaced 4 times since October 7 and is currently sheltering in an apartment with more than 20 family members in Gaza's southernmost town. The home is surrounded by refugees in tents. She said people are living in difficult circumstances of famine and starvation. Even the humanitarian aid is not enough. There are currently 1.5 million Gazans in Rafah, which has become a last safe zone for displaced Palestinians. Ms. Al-Qud is with her sister and 2 children, aged 9 and 11. She said her father died from a stroke due to lack of food and medical care 2 months ago. Her brother, sister-in-law and niece also died as a result of the war. There is nowhere else to go if Israeli forces carry out an assault on Rafah. A mystery illness is wiping out millions of Pacific oysters in southern Tasmania, and commercial growers don't know what's causing it. Farmers are desperate for license fee relief and funding for research, as some consider closing altogether.
Pipeclay Lagoon southeast of Hobart was once the state's best oyster growing area. But in the past 3 years, millions of oysters have died and no one knows why.
All we see is gaping oysters, open oysters, and it's right across the board from baby juveniles right through to matures.
The state's biggest grower has moved its stock to other farms. But for Pipeclay Lagoon's smaller farmers, that's not an option. They're facing increased seagrass growth, dry conditions and less food in the water.
I suppose at the end of the day, I'm at the end of the tether really with it. I'll probably have to shut down in the next 2 or 3 months.
Farmers are hoping the mystery illness is temporary, but with no cash coming in and state government fees ongoing, the clock is ticking.
We do have different streams of data that we have circulated around to IMAS and experts there, but so far nothing stands out as being a real clear cause, so we just need to investigate that further.
The Pacific oyster mortality syndrome has been ruled out as the cause of the dramatic decline in oyster populations here at Pipeclay Lagoon. It has, however, been discovered in populations on Tasmania's east coast, where one farmer has reported losses of 25%.
It indicates that our breeding program has had some successes in achieving a degree of POMS resistance in the stock.
Back at Pipeclay Lagoon, struggling farmers are pleading for research funding to help solve the mystery that's threatening their livelihood.
The Queensland government has denied reports it sought advice about cancelling the 2032 Brisbane Olympic Games after rejecting plans to build a brand new stadium or significantly redevelop the Gaza.
Unfolding events surrounding the Olympic and Paralympic Games. Now, according to a commercial network report last night, the state government of Queensland was looking and investigating at what exactly the cost would be if they were to pull out of hosting the event here in Brisbane in 2032. Now, what the report indicated was that the cost would be upwards of around $500 million in a loss and about $3 billion pulled out from federal funding from the state. Now, in response, the state government late last night issued a statement saying that at no point did they at all indicate that they were going to cancel the Games. They say that Queensland is a great state to be hosting the event. They've also accused the state's opposition in that statement of being the only risk to the Olympics and Paralympic Games to be held here. They say that the LNP has remained fairly tight-lipped as to what exactly their stance is on what these new plans are for the stadiums and the Olympics and Paralympic Games. For the first time, we've heard from the newly elected Lord Mayor of Brisbane, Adrian Schrinner, who spoke on ABC Radio Brisbane a little earlier. Here's a little bit of what he had to say.
It's very clear the political decisions have gotten us into this mess, and now we're trying to unscramble the egg, and it's very frustrating. But you know, an independent authority has been committed. It's going to be set up. The Premier's committed to it. They're working on some legislation at the moment. So that needs to happen, and that's been David Crisafulli's clear position. But in the end, I mean, the government has gotten us into this mess, and so it is a bit rich to try and point the finger at David Crisafulli.
It certainly comes as growing questions remain over the future of the very controversial Gaza redevelopment plan. One of the sites that was earmarked to be relocated, the East Brisbane State School, has told the ABC that they're calling on the state government to provide a little bit more clarity as to what exactly their future holds post-2025. Of course, there's been mixed reactions right across the board. We've heard from former Olympians and community members. We've even heard from the New South Wales State Treasurer, who says that Queensland has some fairly big shoes to fill after the success of the Sydney Olympic Games in 2000. Surely lots more reaction will continue as this saga unfolds.
And that ends the news segment. Over to you, Rex.
Thank you, Maricela. I'll join you with the sports news after these short messages.
Beauty is my business, but beauty sure is a tough game. Filters are great, but great skin, better. And that's why my skin deserves the best. So I choose self-care, soaps that gently nourish my skin, resulting in a radiant look. Made with tropical ingredients. I trust self-care from City Pharmacy. So bring it on! My skin is ready and so am I.
It's on again. It's back to school with Colgate and Protex. 100,000 kina worth of prizes to be won with laptops, tablets and 250 kina shopping vouchers. Simply purchase 2 or more Colgate and Protex branded products, write your name and contact details on the back of the receipt, drop it in the entry bin in participating stores for a chance to win. Promotion begins 1st February and ends 31st March 2024. Hurry! Go to your nearest participating store now and purchase Colgate and Protex products to win. Terms and conditions apply.
Ah, look at me. Still catching coconuts, climbing trees like a pro. Hey, Bill, catch this coconut. My buddy Bill, you're always sick, yeah. Oh, my back. What's the catch, Jack? Uncle Bill, did you know Daddy's always up to date with his vax routine? Thanks, son, for catching me up. Those vax keep me strong.
Wait, for adults? Aren't they just for kids? To stop them from catching measles and rubella?
Uncle Bill, vaccines are for all ages, keeping us strong so we fight preventable diseases. That's the cat.
No wonder your father is showing off like a sweet 16, yeah.
For tasty and a delicious meal choice for your enjoyment, Prima is the name you can trust. For guaranteed meal satisfaction during special occasions or that daily meal, Prima is the name you can trust. Yes, it is. Safe to eat, quality assured, and undoubtedly satisfying. Available at your nearest wholesales or supermarket stores. Prima always tastes great.
He's seen as a table legend.
That is delicious.
Join Tommy Gomes in a tasty culinary voyage.
Holy mackerel. Did I just say that? We're exploring where your quality American seafood comes from. Quality is key. The uglier the fish, the better it tastes.
Take a deep dive into America's commercial fishing culture. The Fishmonger. Streaming now on Outdoor.
Thanks for staying with us. The Isuzu Cricket T20 Smash kicks off the Easter weekend at Amini Park, Port Moresby. The event will see PNG Garamoots and Cialis Under-19 compete as they find their way into senior teams. Cricket PNG believes this is a great lead-up event for the PNG elite cricketers who will be representing the country in the international arena. Chief Executive Officer of Cricket PNG, Richard Dunn, believes that the Isuzu Cricket T20 Smash is not only an entertaining cricket event, but a crucial one for elite cricketers. Dunn said the Isuzu T20 Smash is a great lead-up for our elite cricketers who will proudly represent Papua New Guinea internationally. This event would help, given that the Barramundis are attending the ICC Men's T20 World Cup in the West Indies, Cialis Under-19 women's team playing in Bali, Indonesia, and Garamoots Under-19 men's team competing in Apia, Samoa, all within the first quarter of 2024. Dunn said this event will give the PNG representative cricketers a heads up as they prepare to represent the country in those events. Dunn further explains that the teams that will be participating in the Isuzu T20 Smash tournaments. He said the first draft of players in each men's and women's teams has been completed with 5 Barramundis and 4 Garamoots players drafted into their respective men's teams, and 5 Lewas and 4 Cialis drafted into the women's teams. The second draft, open to the public, will provide an opportunity for 4 more players to be included in each of the men's teams and 3 players each for the women's teams. The participating teams include Casawaris, Madmen, Mariners and Black Bays. The Isuzu T20 Smash will see its finals on 13th April and 4th May respectively. The significant partnership between NCD Schoolboys Rugby League and NCD Governor's Office Powers Pack-Up through the National Capital District Commission was launched today at the St. Hubert Murray Stadium, Port Moresby. Today's events mark the dawn of a new era for the Schoolboys Rugby League that will elevate the standards of rugby league in collaboration with the PNG Rugby League and other stakeholders.
The initiative came about during last year's grand final of the NCD Schools Rugby League at the Santos National Football Stadium, when Governor Pack-Up was invited to officiate the kickoff of both the boys and girls under-18 grand finals. Governor Pack-Up, though not present today, committed for NCDC to collaborate with PNG RFL Community Rugby League program to align to the NCD Schools Rugby League and transform it into a genuine schools rugby league competition. NCD Schools Rugby League President Anol Gende has been the main driver behind keeping the schools competition going over the past 7 years despite the lack of genuine corporate sponsorship. Gende also thanked teachers and parents for volunteering their time to see the program through its challenges. He also acknowledged the passion and vision of Governor Pack-Up for taking the program to the next level.
With the help of Port Moresby Rugby League and PNG RFL, and Puena, the venue management, who have made it possible for us to run our successful grand finals for the last 7 years, of which last year was the 7th one where the governor came in. We invited him to just come and officiate the grand final. But then when he saw the kids playing, it somehow captured his attention, and I think brought something into his mind where it was in a slumber that made him come up with this idea of sponsoring NCD Schools Rugby League, where it is now our major partner, and we are happy that he has come on board. The parents, students and teachers are looking forward to a better pathway for NCD Schools Rugby League.
PNG RFL CEO Stanley Hondina reaffirmed PNG RFL's commitment and support to oversee and make the National Capital District Schools Rugby League competition prosper and set a platform that can be replicated in other parts of the country.
We have a Kid to Kumul program, or a Kid to an Orchid. We call it a Kid to a Justin Olam or Kid to a Elsie Albert. That's a pathway. And that program, NCDC, city manager and the group at the sports desk, Vipers management, there's no other fitting way to say how fitting this alignment is working. We want to do this across Papua New Guinea, but if we want to do the 22 provinces, we'll fall before we even start, because it's too big. We have to pilot it somewhere, make a start, land the ropes, then we can extend the boundaries. In that space, because we are based here and everything is happening in the city, you know, we say Port Moresby is mini Papua New Guinea. People from all across this country, the breadth and depth of this country are in Port Moresby. That is why to pilot it in this space with a partnership like this is a testament to what it can do in the game. In the next couple of years to come, I could only foresee the game getting better and bigger through this structure.
On behalf of Governor Parkop, Dr. Albert Newton reaffirmed Governor Parkop's passion to see schools' rugby league program aligned with the NCD Port Moresby Vipers Academy as a pathway for development.
I am here also happy to announce that adding value to this pathway and school program, Mr. Gende, thank you so much for your hard work, your commitment, dedication, the sacrifice that you have put in place with your executives. You know, we can't thank you enough, but thank you. You have still continued to light that fire, and now we are coming on board to enhance it, to support it, and to better it and make it bigger and better for our city and for our country.
The NCD Schools Rugby League has kicked off its 2024 season with games now scheduled for 3 designated venues: Gerahu Secondary, Taurama Barracks and Bomana. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Well, there is no panic station for Hunters rookie coach Paul Aiton and his team after their round 2 loss to the Capras last weekend. It is back to drawing board this week for the Hunters as they regroup for their next hit out against the Sunshine Coast Falcons on Saturday at the Santos National Football Stadium. Aiton admitted the boys had a good first start to trail 12-14, but ill discipline got the better of the boys in the second half, resulting in 2 sin bins which did not help their cause.
A tough day at the office for the PNG boys after they succumbed to the might of a strong and mobile CQ Capras outfit 32-18 last Saturday in what was their second hit-out against Capras in a space of 4 weeks. The Hunters took their first trial match to Gladstone, Queensland in February, where they beat Capras with a similar scoreline 32-14. Hunters coach Paul Aiton, though disappointed that the boys drifted away from the game plan in the second half, conceding easy points through ill discipline and lack of urgency in their goal line defence.
I think all of us were disappointed. I think Moto came into that game, you know, after the 2 trials in round 1, feeling pretty confident. But I think it brought us back to reality, and you know, there's a lot of things that we need to work on, and you know, we could just work on our penalties. I know they're enforcing the downtown, the offside. For enforcing that, so yeah, we've got a lot of things to work on, but we've been doing that this week. That's really, I mean, you know, I think also playing before, being in the middle when that doesn't happen, that's a real letdown, and he knows that, so he's assured me that he's doing everything he can. He's practicing right now as we speak, kicking the ball out. These little things are just not our standard, and we know that. So.
Coach Aiton said they have some work to do ahead of Falcons game this weekend, especially game structure and effort areas that let them down last week.
It was a good team, so we're looking for a big game here, you know, hoping everyone comes out to support us again. And yeah, I think we've got a lot of things we need to fix, and we've addressed that, and we'll fix it by Saturday. So it comes hand in hand. I think when you get so many penalties and errors, it sort of, you defend a lot more, and yeah, and a few way to make an early change with Seal, so that put a little bit more pressure on for our other boys to do a little bit more work. So that was a little bit disappointing, but yeah, I think it's hand in hand. I think the penalties and errors, give away more of those and you tackle more.
Ayton said there's no more injuries from the Capra's game and the team will welcome back Robert Matthias and Valentine Richard to the starting lineup, while Joshua Mira is promoted to first 17.
I think we've debuted 7 in 2 games, so we're not debuting anyone this week. We've got Valentine Richard back in, Robert Matthias back in. They have the visa issues, they can't travel. And Josh Mira comes onto the bench. He's been 18-man twice now, so and he does all the extras, he pushes that hard, he really wants this, and you can see the hunger in Josh, so we've put him on the bench at 17. Junior Rob's just about ready with his fitness, and he comes on the bench at 18.
Gary Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
Courtney Vine's blistering form for Sydney FC has been rewarded with a recall for the Matildas' April friendly against Mexico. Vine withdrew from February's Olympic qualifiers against Uzbekistan for personal reasons, but with 6 goals and 3 assists in her past 5 A-League women games, the 25-year-old winger made an irresistible case for a recall against world number 31 Mexico. Leicester City defender Courtney Nevin, who was left out of last month's qualifier, has also been recalled to Tony Gustafsson's 23-player squad. PNG's Lekora United defeated Labasa FC of Fiji 2-0 in extra time in the semi-final match of the Oceania Football Confederate Women's Champions League in Honiara, Solomon Islands this afternoon. Christine Manevo and Nani Elipas granted Lekora United a ticket to the OFC Women's Grand Final. The Lekora United women's team took the pitch as favourites in the OFC Women's Champions League semi-final and won the match fairly, but no one was expecting a tight contest from the Fijian outfit Labasa Football Club. Labasa FC put up a resilient performance to hold Lekora at bay, sending the match into extra time. Fatigue crept in and both sides looked a little exhausted in the extra time, but it was courage and will to get the job done took Lekora United home. Nani Elipas break open the deadlock 10 minutes into extra time with a strong right foot kick after her initial header didn't hit the target. All eyes were on the ever-threatening Mari Kaipu, but Elipas found the net to put her side in front. Momentum swung in favour of Lekora United as they looked threatening with renewed energy to wrap up the match. Christy Maneo made use of the possession to slot in another goal to put the match to rest in an epic 2-0 finish. Phyllis Pala was awarded Player of the Match for the outstanding performance. She was in every highlight, especially in her attack. Lekora United women's team is now on bye and awaits finals this Saturday, 23rd March. That's all we have in sports. Maricela.
Thanks, Rex. We'll now have the weather forecast. Southern, Port Moresby, partly cloudy with possible afternoon showers. Halotau, cloudy with some showers. Wamase, Ley and Wewak, partly cloudy with some showers. Madang and Vanimo, cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorms. New Guinea Islands, Kavieng, rain showers and possible thunderstorm. Kimbe, cloudy with some showers. Highlands, Mount Hagen, cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorms. Coral and Bismarck seas, slight to moderate with patches rough with west to northwest winds of 10 to 15 knots reaching 20 to 33 knots. Waters of Long Island to Medan to Wewak, Vanimo and northern PNG Indonesian border, and waters of Manus and its western group of islands, seas 1 to 2 meters rising to 2.5 to 3 meters along warning areas. And that wraps up the news tonight. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.